Hello, and welcome to another story time with Sky Fellowship. Today, I want to discuss accessibility, so I already know I'm going to call this episode Embracing Accessibility. And there's a lot of games that have done a lot of stuff, but Spider-Man is up there with some of the really cool stuff that you can do in accessibility. It tends to be a lot of Sony studios, to be honest, which we absolutely love to see, because as I've gotten older, got a lot of different disabilities. There's some that I've already had for a long time, and it's one of those that there's been a maddening amount of options missing from games, to be honest. I know it was all due to limitation stuff, but even now we've got Nintendo who still really do bad accessibility stuff. For the most part, I'm struggling to even think of one game that they've done that gets praised for their accessibility. So anyway, moving on. So the episode is Embracing Accessibility, and it's basically, I didn't require some of this stuff when I was growing up, but on top of the fact that some of this stuff I actually need, and I am going to kind of go through a little bit and then actually just play the game, while I discuss the rest of it, while some of it I didn't really need and still don't need, I still enable because it makes the game more fun for me. So for example, there's the ability to autocomplete QuickTime events. I personally like doing the QuickTime events, so I turn that off, but I understand there are some people who really don't like it, and there are some people who actually struggle because of their physical needs to be able to do them. So that's why it's obviously under the accessibility thing, but at the same time, if you really hate QTEs, you can just turn it off. You don't need to be disabled to still embrace accessibility, essentially. It's one of those that you don't need to be disabled but it helps type thing. You don't need to be crazy to work here but it helps. Like, you can have a physical disability and need that, but you can also just want to skip something you don't like. For example, change button taps to holds. I'm pretty damn good at button mashing. It's what the terminology is. Obviously, if you're watching this, you might know. You probably should know. But button mashing, loads of little mini games from track and field, different events that you can do on the old track and field games or Mario Party. I am good at it, but do I find it fun? Fuck no. So I just changed that to hold, so that like it I find it takes me out of the scene more. Like in this specific case with Spider-Man, it usually you get things like he has to stop a car or lift a car or something, and I find constantly mashing the fuck out the button actually takes me out of the scene. It really does. So I turn that off. And I know Spider-Man has got tons. Don't worry, I'm not like going to go through absolutely all of this. I just wanted to give a couple examples because I also know there's a lot of different visual aids that you can put on. Being visually impaired, there's some stuff that I do put on. There's some stuff that I don't put on. Usually it's things like making the text bigger or putting different colours for the speaker, because sometimes I can hear obviously, but sometimes I like to be able to see, especially if it's an off-screen character or something, what the conversation is and who said what, essentially. So having different characters go up in different colours can really help. I know a lot of games allow the ability to slow the game down to half speed now, and I think that is Spider-Man 2, actually, which I probably should have launched Spider-Man 2. I own all of them. Like, I absolutely love this fucking franchise so much. It's unbelievable. But I think that one is one of them that allows you to basically choose the game speed for people who have much slower reaction times. And there's a lot of these things that obviously gamers at large usually tend to complain about, because if everything isn't for them, then how dare it exist type thing. And it's annoying because I really do wish more people who actually weren't disabled would embrace some of these features, because firstly it would make it better for the rest of us who are and who need these features if suddenly there's a demand for them. And again, some of them can genuinely make the game more fun. There's little things like, I'm trying to remember if Spider-Man 1 actually has it. I don't want to spend the rest of the time looking through the menu, so it might just be 2. I know, essentially, when you do this with Spider-Man, and I apologise, I've just smacked the mic. When you're falling through the air, Spider-Man, I don't want to have to worry about splatting and losing health, because my visually impaired, the actual visual impairment that fucks me, is specifically related to depth perception alongside a bunch of other stuff. Like, I see... The only way I can describe it is actually perfect here with the traffic light. To you, that is a single red light. To me, that is genuinely a bow, as in an archery bow and arrow bow of lights. It makes a curve, and then I essentially get the string. I see a lot more than one fucking light there. It honestly looks more like the front of that truck must like to people. I can have loads of little things like that that can't and won't ever be fixed in video games, but it does mean that I do struggle with a lot of things like, as I say, depth perception as well, so I don't want to have to worry about if I miss a swing, landing and splatting. And obviously there might be some people out there who complain about that and go, well, it just makes the game easier. On a technicality, yes, but it also makes the game a lot more fun and less stressful for me, because there's nothing I love more than not using the fast travel in this game. I don't know why anyone would ever use the fast travel. I mean, I fully get it. Some people have different time constraints, and there has been the odd time when I knew I only had a half an hour to play the game, and I'm like, do I want to spend a half an hour swinging there? I mean, kinda, but at the same time, I'll just fast travel to do the actual mission. But yeah, there's loads of little things that accessibility can do that aren't just making games more accessible to the people that need it. You can genuinely find different things that might actually improve your overall experience. I personally love playing Spider-Man on its hardest difficulty. I'm in the middle of actually beating that file. I'm a sicko with these games, like as a lot of people were with the Arkham Knight series, and I enjoyed the first one and I struggled with the second one, and I've tried going back to them to get into them because I wanted that fix, and people were saying that they still think the Arkham games are better than Spider-Man, and it's like, maybe if they got fully remastered and allowed me to actually change my controls and do any sort of accessibility as well. But even without that, I've never been the biggest fan of them. I thought as soon as I played Spider-Man, this is a significantly better combat system and everything. So I like putting it on hard because the combat feels like a dance to me. You're attacking, you're dodging, you're parrying, you're web spitting. Well, not spitting, slinging. You're web slinging. That you're doing all of this in a rhythm, essentially. And on the harder difficulties, if you mess that rhythm up even once, it can be catastrophic and cause you to fail. I don't see why I would put myself through that level of combat and also make it so that if I forgot to, like, hold the trigger down, or, like, because sometimes it's not even a case of, like, for some people, it is the ability to hold down a button for a long time. I have arthritis, and some games... Some actions on a controller do hurt worse than others, but a controller tends to be a lot better than a mouse and keyboard. But so there are actually people who struggle to hold down for a long time. But with myself, it might just be a case of I need to sneeze, or a migraine hits and I immediately do the instinctive reaction of grabbing my head and holding onto it. So it could be any little thing like that, and I'm like, the ability to not splat is kind of really fucking useful to me. It doesn't ruin the game, it makes it more fun for me. So yeah, I know I've ended up doing a lot of waffle here. A lot of waffle. I also would like to say I'm currently testing a new mic filter, like as in the actual thing you put over your mic. It's like a literal pop mic filter. I don't know if the video where I explained I was having to record without one will actually go up, because I'm trying not to go too negative with a lot of things, because I already have trauma dumping stories on this channel, but I really feel like video games might be in a bad state, and I don't know if I want to upload that video yet. I guess that's kind of why I'm saying it here, because by the time this video goes up, if I actually have a following and people are going, no, feel free to crap on the state of gaming, I'll probably upload it then. But yeah, it means that I'm using a new cover for the microphone to basically stop popping sounds or anything, so hopefully it's not noticeable, because I've listened back to the other videos and I'm like, yep, this one was fine, and I'm about to listen back to this one and find out if it's noticeable. So yeah, until next time. At the time of recording, the Winter Olympics are still actually going on, and yes, I understand there's going to be a large difference between when you see this and when I actually record it. I'm trying to, on days when I actually feel good or have an idea, trying to stockpile a couple of videos, essentially, so that I can continue to do maybe one a week, or what might have been happening is one a week in each of the styles that I've got the ability to do this many of. There's a few other ideas I want to do, and at the moment I haven't even uploaded any of those, like at the moment of me recording this. So there are ideas for that, but those are the videos I'm having way less ideas, so I can't really do one of each of those a week, whereas I can do one story and one IGN 7 a week easily enough. So I'm stockpiling a bunch of videos, and yeah, as I say, going off on yet another tangent, the Winter Olympics is still in the middle of going on, and a game's about to face off that I would really like to watch. So until next time, this has been me, Sky Fellowship. I truly hope you have a great rest of your day, and I know it's been long overdue since I actually said this in a video, but reminder, please do, if you have anything you would like to add to this, in the comments below, and eventually if we get enough comments like over this little community that I'm hoping to build, I can read out some examples and some stories of things that maybe you turn on for accessibility needs and why you turn it on. Maybe it's because you have a physical impairment, maybe it's because you need a delay response time or something. I can't remember what it's officially called. Maybe you are perfectly, fully, like, abled, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And you just turn things on because it's a part of a game that you genuinely don't like. Again, like quick time events or the button mashing. Yeah. Right then. I think that's everything. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, and bye. When it lets me... Why are you not letting me pause the game? Thank you. This is one of those behind the scenes things. The mouse wouldn't let me move because the game wasn't officially paused, so the mouse was moving the camera, and I need to be able to move the mouse to obviously hit stop recording, so apologies that went very jank at the end. But again, I'm not a professional, and this is just a hobby, so I'm fine with this. Bye.